Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Koei Tecmo Europe, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. And now, it is time for JkL87 running Rolan's Curse. Take it away.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm going to run Roland's Curse here. I have two people with me here, Mo and Atros. So you guys can introduce yourself a little bit.
Sure. Guess I'll start. Yeah, I'm Mule. Nobody can pronounce my name, so they just say Mo. I'm the organizer of the Tiny 10 speedrun race, which is 10 Game Boy games. I also do a podcast about Game Boy called This is Game Boy. Very original, I know. And I also do a Game Boy System Challenge at Twitch, so I'm a little knowledgeable about Game Boy games, so that's why I definitely wanted to join this commentary.
I'm Atros. I don't know why I'm here. I barely speedrun Game Boy games. I have no idea what's going on.
But you are the world record holder of this game currently, so...
I'm pretty sure I tripped into the world record, so...
I think that's the main point everyone does with this game. They just trip into the world record. Anyways, I will give a small countdown here when to start timer, and we will get the run started. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So this game is basically a movement-based game, and we are going to want drops that increases our health and attack power. So the first thing we need to do is increase our health, because there are enemies that does 2 part of damage. We have 2 to start with, so we don't want to get one shot by those enemies. So we are basically going to go for a little detour over here to grab an heart.
There's several hearts in the game too, but JkL actually did a lot of routing on this game, because we had it in our last Tiny 10, and he found out one of the most optimal hearts to get is the one that he just got right there. And the armor that he picked up a second ago, I think that is the only static drop in the entire game from enemies. Like, you can kill enemies and get a various set of items, but I think that slime always drops that armor, and it increases your health by half a heart for just this one stage. So after he defeats the first boss, his health will go back down half a heart. Now, a whole heart, because he just got another armor.
Yeah, that one is really rare to get. Like, the drops in this game are actually really like set in stone, but they change depending on which enemies you kill, how fast you're going. Also, I did this room wrong. But that's no issue, we can just recover. So, a lot of things are just remembering which room is which, so you know exactly how to go.
It is a very linear game. It is kind of open world-like, but there's not that many screens to actually go through. Most of them are optional, definitely, when you're doing a speedrun, because they only contain extra items, extra health, things like that you don't really need for the speedrun anyways. But yeah, like mentioned, you can definitely increase your health, sometimes per stage, but also, like, in general. I think the hearts will give you a permanent upgrade that you can take over to the next stage, but all the other drops just increase your health for the current level you're on. You can see that JkL has 4 hearts in total right now. You can basically fill the entire left side of the screen with hearts if you really wanted to.
Ooh, JkL got really lucky with a cloak drop there, because this section is actually a decent bit of time loss if you don't get a health drop from the slime at the start of this area. Then you have to either hope for a health drop, or get a cape drop like he got, which is invincibility, or you have to go through the area really slow to make sure you don't take damage. Usually where he got that cape, we usually just walk straight through those enemies and tank the damage. So he got kind of lucky with that cape, which is always good.
Yeah, I was planning on going for the safe setup, but I got lucky, so I just could go right away.
And so that's the main reason we pick up health throughout this run is there's multiple enemies. It's just much quicker to just damage boost right through them. I guess I really shouldn't say damage boost, just literally walk right through them and take hits. And like JkL said, there's enemies later on that do 2 hearts of damage.
Yes.
So having that extra bit of health allows you to just speed up the run overall.
So here I got a farm for a drop, because I haven't gotten lucky, but this one usually drops one within 5 kills, so hopefully it doesn't disappoint me today. It
Oh,
didn't.
there we go. So there's multiple ways to actually gain health in this game. You can get a small little potion that JkL just got right there, or you can get a potion in a chest or from enemies. But the problem with this game is right now JkL has the pickaxe. If you ever lose the pickaxe, the route is just, it's super slow because you can use the pickaxe to destroy rocks. So you want to try to avoid picking up anything else throughout this entire run, and anything you kill has a chance to drop an item that can go into your A slot. So there's actually been multiple runs that I've done where I killed an enemy, walked over top of it, and picked up something else and had a reset. So that's one of those things that you really have to try to avoid with this game, is accidentally picking up anything other than the pickaxe.
Yeah, and it's a really big problem in the route I'm doing, because few enemies that drop a pickaxe are so hard to kill, and I go for no attack bonus basically. By the way, first boss, a slime, original. So,
And, okay, good, yeah.
yeah, so here I'm just trying to line up next to him and then moving away and slashing again. That's basically the whole boss fight.
Yeah, the patterns on the boss fights in this game are really easy to figure out. And yes, they are a little bit Zelda inspired, as you can see. But yeah, this is a very easy boss to defeat, even casually. And if this would be the 100% run, the game would actually end right here. Because if you die at the same frame that the boss dies, you just warp to the credits. But yeah, we'll be doing the entire game right now.
Yeah, I said that no one should be crazy enough to do the 100% route, because it's not consistent at all. I think I've completed 3 runs out of 200 maybe.
That sounds pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's very short though, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Right before the boss, you saw that JkL picked up a gauntlet, the hand icon. That is actually a permanent upgrade to your attack power. We haven't really talked about the attack power itself, but just like health, you can get momentary upgrades that will get reset at every stage, but if you pick up a hand, you will get a permanent upgrade, and that's very useful to do, of course, more damage to the bosses later on. You can also pick up like a second sword, perhaps, that will increase your attack power of your sword to 2, but there is a different weapon in this game, which is the fire wand, I believe.
Yeah.
Actually, the manual calls it the Wand of Uzi. So
Ooh, that's much better than fire
yeah,
wand.
it's kind of a gun wand, I guess. But yeah, if you would pick up that one, you would reset back to level 1 Wand of Uzi, so it only has 1 attack point to it.
Yeah, we are going to pick it up here, because fighting this boss without it is basically impossible.
Yeah, the second boss stays kind of far away from you,
Ooh,
so you want to be able
that's
to
not
use...
how I'm supposed to do that.
That was scary.
The wand has a projectile attack. It attacks slower than the sword, but has a projectile attack, so that's why we use it on the stage 2 boss. And I'm not 100% certain on this, JkL, I think you tested it, but can you not do damage to one of the bosses if you don't have your attack high enough?
Yeah, the final boss you need to have 4 attack power, when I enter the final stage, I will just have 3. So I will need to pick up an extra one. So basically when I was routing this game, I was trying to pick up as few as possible. And I got to the final boss and was fighting him for 10 minutes, and I had to check with the Lua script to see if I did any damage, and I did not do any damage to the final boss.
So luckily the final stage of this game is a town and then a short little walk to the final boss. So the last stage is really short, but in that time period you can pick up a sword that's in a chest, a gauntlet or glove as I call it. Mo, I don't know why you think it's a gauntlet. It's definitely a glove, man.
I'm just following the manual, so...
You can pick up a glove as well, and you can actually RNG manipulate an enemy to get a sword as well. It's slightly difficult to do, but it's another way you can get a sword. So right at the very end, you can actually get 2 swords and a glove, which is always nice that you can get your attack high enough there.
No. Ooh.
Oh man, it's scary.
I was close.
I did the same mistake during my practice run, so I realized it way too late though.
It all worked out, so...
Yeah, that's the most important part.
But yeah, as you can see, there's just a lot of walking in this game, so there's not too much to commentate about unless there's something very specific. So I would say if you have some donations to read, please do so.
Sure thing. We did get $35 from Tomani, saying, JKL, do the frame perfect hard strats. We have time, I'm sure. Frasse and Katara approve.
Yeah, that's... Well, we have a game coming up after this, which will require a lot of frame perfect, but this game will be a little bit easier. So I'm glad that I get to play this game first, just to calm down my nerves. So here we're doing... This room is completely set, so I know exactly how to move without taking damage. But this is my least favorite room, because these spiders can... Okay, yeah.
The spiders can do stuff like that.
Yeah. It's basically the only room that has, like, RNG in the game.
The nice thing about this game, casually playing it and speedrunning it, if you die, the last like temple-looking door that you entered, that's where you reset to. So dying isn't a massive time loss unless you're in a big area and die at the very end of it. So the game is pretty forgiving in that. And I mean, this is also a really great game to play casually. If anybody's looking for a Game Boy game to play, I really do recommend Rolan's Curse. It's not difficult. As you can tell, it's mainly just movement based, but it is a really good RPG type game, so...
Yeah, and it's also only one of the only RPGs you can actually play in co-op mode. So if you have a friend nearby that wants to play it with you, you can actually do that. Actually, the entire manual itself and the back cover is based on the fact that there are 2 heroes trying to save Rolan. So yeah.
We're coming up to the second boss. So yeah, there's not much to say about this boss. He just does this exact pattern over and over again, and we're just trying to damage it as much as possible.
And you can really see why the projectile attack from the wand is beneficial here compared to the sword. So this is the only time we'll use the wand throughout the entire run, and it's just because this fight would take about 10 years if you were using the sword.
Yeah, I tried to route it out with the sword, but it's just hard, not safe, and slow.
I'm saying the sword does quite a bit more damage than the wand does too, so it's really unfortunate that we have to use the wand at all.
Yeah, it's like double damage or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's double for the sword. Because I actually tried doing other bosses with the wand just to see if it was any better, if like they had a hidden weakness or anything like that. and it takes the other bosses an extremely long time to die using the wand. And I feel like you can just spam the sword a lot faster and a lot better.
Yeah, one thing about this game worth mentioning that really doesn't matter in this category as much, but if you're mashing like perfectly, it's actually slower than mashing a little bit slower. Because of the enemies' iframes last a little bit too long. So if you do 2 perfect slashes in a row, you will not get a full hit of the second one. So coming up here is we are going to... This is probably the hardest part of the whole speedrun when going for my route. So right here we are going to buffer a few moves to make sure we can get past this wizard. And that should be good. Yeah, like
Really
a pixel away from dying, but it usually works out good. But we're coming up to another really hard part, and I haven't decided yet what strat I'm going for. So let's see. Okay, we're going for this strat. Let's hope. Oh,
Ooh.
Perfect. That saves a lot of time, by the way.
Yeah, it's super interesting watching this because JkL had rerouted the game multiple times, but I do a different route for my run. So I'm watching him do stuff I've never actually seen him do before. So it's actually really interesting to watch because the wizard that he skipped past, I actually RNG manipulate a sword off of him. And then that last room he just did, which was really, really well done, I do that room extremely slow. So this is really interesting to watch. I'm really curious where you're going to get your sword from, though, JkL.
Oh, there's a free sword coming up right before the boss, so...
Oh.
It takes a few seconds to get, but... I never could, with the attack power I have, get a consistent sword drop from that wizard. Oh wait, let's reset this room because I thought this was another room. So there are like repeats of rooms, as you can see, so sometimes my head just goes to another room when I'm entering, a room that looks exactly the same.
The game does like to recycle certain areas, but the layouts of the enemies and items are always different.
Yeah.
But it does use the same assets a lot of times.
Yeah, that was the hardest thing for me when I was learning to run this game, is you feel like you're just going through the same area over and over and over again, but you have to move through them slightly different every single time.
Oh, here we also have a random spider. It will either go to the right or down, and it went to the right, so that's good. And this is a really run killer point, yeah.
Yep, I knew it was going to happen every single time it happens.
So if you have any donations, you can talk about them right now.
Oh, okay. There's no current donations, but I can mention that we do have an upcoming bid war for a run that is happening later today. Knuckles Chaotix Beat the Game. You can, with your money, choose one member of the incredibly electric cast of characters to be the ESA tributes. And the options are Vector the Crocodile, Mighty the Armadillo, Knuckles the Echidna, and Espio the Chameleon. Right now, Mighty is in the lead, but if you want to either solidify the lead or get someone else up in the running, you know what to do. You can get your money in for that.
So as I mentioned earlier, unfortunately with that potion dropping, JkL just has to stand there and watch it slowly disappear because he can't lose the pickaxe. He could have gambled and picked it up because this enemy right here does have a chance of dropping a pickaxe, but it's not 100%. So if he didn't get it, he'd have to just sit there and keep resetting and try again over and over again. So you're just better off just waiting for the item to despawn. It's one of those unfortunate things about this run is I think they're foxes or whatever, but those have a really high chance of dropping something when you kill them.
Yeah, and these golems have so much health, and because I'm on the wand here and only attack power level 3, it means that it would take me like 25 seconds just to kill one of them. So it's really just bad luck if you get that potion drop.
So and unfortunately, the golems here actually have a pretty high chance of dropping stuff as well, because when I started running this game, the world record at the time didn't kill the golems. And I was kind of curious as to why, because it's much faster to kill them. And then after doing a few runs up to this point and killing them and getting an item to drop, I kind of understood why. They have a fairly high drop chance.
Yeah, and this room is why we want the pickaxe, because otherwise we gotta fight a golem. And as I was telling before, we do not want to fight golems. Also, here we can pick up an extra wand, and that actually increases our attack one extra time. So, but we will only have that extra attack for the boss. So I actually don't know if it saves time. But here's the sword I will get. So now we have 5 attack power for this boss, and it's the most attack we will have throughout the whole game. We'll probably only have 4 for the final boss. I'm going to try to do the quick route through this room. These bats does a lot of damage. Okay, I got through, so that saves a little bit of time. So, time for the third boss. This is probably the hardest boss. I mean, the other bosses aren't hard, and this boss isn't really hard either. But you can get deceived where you can stand when you're standing
the
behind
hitboxes
it.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, the big problem is that this game is based on half tiles and not full tiles, so sometimes you can put yourself in the wrong position. But like all the other bosses, this is always the same pattern over and over again, so it's easy to figure out actually what
I
to do.
almost died. Because
That's alright. Casually,
Again,
the wand is better for this boss, because it's way safer, because you can shoot through walls, but for the speedrun, of course, you just want to stand right next to him.
Another example of this game being very forgiving. If you die on the boss, you actually respawn right outside the boss room. So, not a massive time loss to die on the boss, but always, of course, better to not do that.
Okay,
So, and then, yeah, here we have the very last stage. And like I said, it's a very short walk to the final boss.
And who wanna read this?
I'll go ahead. Your valor has proven you strong enough to challenge the evil Emperor Barrius. Do not be discouraged now. Go and rock that turkey.
I've never talked to any of the NPCs on this. That is terrific.
No,
Yes.
neither did I until like Mo went like, oh, did you know about this guy saying this and that guy saying that? And I had to talk to every person, and some people say some really funny things.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you're playing through this game casually to just talk to everybody. They are completely useless for the gameplay, but they do say some very cool things, because this is a Japanese game and I don't think they actually hired any English native-speaking people to translate everything, so there are some very funny lines that all these people say.
So this sword is actually like a second slower to pick up, but I pick it up because then I can do a buffer through this whole room just to get through that enemy. And let's see if we are lucky.
Oh, really nice.
We got another sword. So that means we will save like 8 seconds on the final boss if we kill it correctly.
Yeah, I don't know why they made the fourth stage so short. Because like I said, he was in the town and then 2 screens and then here's the final boss.
Oh.
And he just repeats the same pattern. He goes from the top left corner to the bottom right corner to the bottom left corner to the top right corner. And each time the balls that he splits up into go to the exact same way. So you just gotta learn where to step to avoid getting hit by them, and then just repeat that over and over.
Yeah, the hardest part about this fight is just being focused for 1.5 minutes. So one thing you could do on the final stage is actually farm up to max attack, and you can kill this boss before a
Oh no!
Oh, got hit by the ball there.
yeah before a full cycle basically. But anyways, we will watch the final boss once more because I felt like he needed a little bit more screen time here.
I mean, to be fair, Barrios does look the coolest out of all the bosses in the game.
Absolutely. And for when it comes to the timer to end it, it's when the screen actually fades to white, so not when the boss dies.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I should blame my controller because that's the usual speedrunning thing.
I would just blame the half tiles.
Yeah,
They are never fun in any game.
No. Okay, I'm actually going to focus now and not think about other things.
It's such like so empty right now, but I don't know what to talk about. You just mash, kill the boss. It's a great game, it really truly is. But speedrun tech, there's not a whole lot. It's mainly routing, making sure that you do the route correctly.
Yeah, it doesn't have any glitches besides that one credit swap for the any percent run. It's a very standard game, and it's easy to pick up for sure.
Yeah, I think like 3 more teleports and he should be dead. That's the trade-off you do when you're doing my route, is that the final boss takes a lot of time to kill, but everything else is so fast that it saves time. So time is coming up when the screen is turning white here. So, time! I don't know how fast that was, or I should say slow, but hopefully it was underestimate.
Let me see, I think it was...
It was within estimates, so you're good.
Within,
Yes!
Yeah.
That's
26, 15?
16.
16 even, yeah, there you go.
Which really
Yeah,
isn't bad,
GG.
considering the fact you died to the boss twice.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was Roland's Curse. It's a really fun Game Boy game. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's an easy game to just get into and playing.
And apparently it's got extremely good dialogue. Just go around talking to all the villagers and... something about turkeys. I can't remember the line. It wasn't rock that turkey.
Yeah, rock that turkey.
Run that turkey.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going anywhere quite yet because we do have a bonus game coming up, which the people in chat has so kindly donated for. You're going to be showing us Dark Castle any percent. But while we set that up, we are going to a quick intermission, so don't go anywhere and we will be right back.